6, solving linear inequalities. Now, like I said, this was really simple for block 1. I'm sure it will be for you too, because we've already done what the basics that we need to know. None of your problems today have to be rearranged even. I'm so nice. Wasn't that nice of me?
Yeah.
They're all in what kind of form?
Slope-intercept.
All your problems are in slope-intercept form for you, so you don't need to rearrange, you just need to graph it. But first, let's fill in the m. What is the m? That is also known as our slope.
1/1.
And what is our slope?
1/1.
Whatever's with your x, 1. And some people like to write it 1/1 so they remember what they're graphing. 1/1, 1 is the same thing. Now you might want to label the m the slope, and the b is also known as our what again? The y-intercept. Maybe label that again in case you have forgotten. What is our y-intercept in this inequality?
-3.
The -3. And then down here, tell me, what will this line be? Positive or negative?
Positive.
We know it's going to be positive, and why?
Positive slope.
Because our slope is positive, so we know our line is going to be positive. Okay, now let's graph that one. From the origin, tell me where I need to start. Up, down, left, or right?
Down 3.
Down 3.
Right. The y-intercept is the -3, so I put my dot there, the -3. My slope is 1/1, so I go where and where?
Oh, right.
Do the run first.
Right one, right one.
Right one, up one, right one, up one. And what if I need to go backwards?
Down one, down one.
Is this going to be a solid or a dotted line?
Solid.
Solid? Okay, I'll pick the solid line. There we go. All right, now we're on to inequality number 2. What is my slope for inequality number 2?
1/1.
1/1 again? So they have the same slope, don't they?
Yeah.
So already, what do we know about these two inequalities?
Parallel.
They're parallel. What is are they the same line though?
No.
No.
No, because this one has a y-intercept of a +5. What kind of a line will this be?
Positive.
This also will be a positive slope. Okay, so we go to the graph. Tell me where to start from the origin.
Up 5.
Good, up 5. Now what?
Right one, up 1.
Is this going to be a dotted or a solid line?
Yeah.
Y is less than. Dotted or solid?
Dotted.
Because there's no equal to underneath it, so this one is a dotted line. Okay? Now we're almost done. Now we just have to decide, where do we shade it? Do we shade it up here, in the middle, or down here? What works? We need a test point, and you know how to do those because we did those before. What would be a good test point to try in here?
0, 0.
Okay, so let's try this 0, 0 as our test point. All right, I've got 0 and 0. Go to your inequality here. 0 is greater than or equal to 0 minus 3. 0 is greater than or equal to, what's 0 minus 3? -3. Does that work?
No.
0 is not greater than or equal to a -3?
Yes.
That is.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
0 on your number line, that is greater than your -3. So that one works. Now it has to work in both of them in order for you to shade that area in. So if it was a no, you try something else right away. 0 is less than 0 plus 5. 0 is less than 5, yes or no?
Yes.
They both work. So what area do we shade in?
Middle.
We shade in this middle part. Right there. Now all of those points would work in both equations. So if I picked a point right on this line, say I picked this point right here, would that work in both equations? Yes. How about if I picked a point right on this line? Would that one work?
No.
No. Why not? Who can tell me the difference? Why would the point on this line work and the point on this line would not work?
The top line is less than. It's not greater than or equal to or less than or equal to.
Right. This one is not equal to, so nothing on the line works. Everything below it will. This one is also equal to, so anything on this line would also work in both equations. Nice job. Okay, next example. We need to first fill in the blanks for these two inequalities. Let's do the blanks first. First equation, what's my slope? 2 or 2 over 1, right? And what is my y-intercept? A positive 2. The line that we will be graphing will be positive. Over here, what is my slope?
-1.
Okay, now do you want the negative with the 1 or the 2? Does it matter? No, as long as you give it to one or the other. Just don't give it to both. What is my y-intercept?
-1.
-1. What kind of a line will I have?
Negative.
A negative, because it has a negative y-intercept, right? No, because it has a negative slope. That tells us what the line will be. All right, so let's graph this one. Number 1, first inequality, where do I start from the origin? Up 2, to positive 2, because my y-intercept is a positive 2. My slope, run to the left or right one? The bottom, do I run left or right one? Go to the right one, do I go up or down 2? Up 2 because it's positive, so right 1, up 2. Right 1, up 2. And backwards, left 1, down 2. Will this be a dotted or a solid line, class? Dotted, because there is no equal to sign under it. How's that look? Pretty close? Now what do? Do the next one. Where do I start with the next one?
-1.
Down 1 to the -1 is my y-intercept, so down here at the -1. Now, here I'm going to what? Left or right 2?
Right.
Right 2?
Up 1. No, down 1.
Down 1 because it's a negative, right? So right 2, down 1. Right 2, down 1, and so on. Backwards, left 2, up 1. Left 2, up 1. Dotted or solid?
Dotted.
Once again, we have the dotted line. Now we have to decide what gets shaded in. We have 4 different areas possible to get shaded in. I know the easy thing to do is try 0, 0 right away. If it works in both, you'd shade that area in. What if you don't have a clue? You can kind of look at these and go, would you just gonna check and guess? What do you want to do? Check and guess? All right, we'll do what we've been doing. Check and guess. What would you pick?
0, -2.
So do we get lucky right away? 0, 0?
Yes.
Does that work?
Yeah.
0, is that less than 2 times 0 plus 2?
Yeah.
0 is less than 2 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. That works. How about over here? Is 0 greater than a -1/2 times 0 minus 1?
Yes.
Is 0 greater than 1? -1. Yes, it is. So it worked in both. We lucked out with the 0, 0. If it didn't work, then what would you have to do?
Different point.
Try a different point in one of the other sections. All right, and then you shade in the appropriate area. What is my slope right here?
1, 1.
I'm hearing 0, I'm hearing 1. Going once, going twice. 0, 1. Anything else? Who says 1? Who says 1? Who says 0? Nobody in here says 0 for the slope? Have I taught you nothing this year? Come on.
I think.
What do we have here? Y is greater than or equal to 1x, right? Did I ask your slope or y-intercept? I forgot.
Slope.
Okay, so I'm losing my mind. Now, I did teach you something. I feel so much better. What is our slope? I was thinking I asked the y-intercept. 1 or 1 over 1, same thing. Now, what is our y-intercept? This is what I was thinking.
0.
Yes, I did teach you something this year. 0. Because we don't go y is greater than or equal to 1x plus 0. We just don't put it there. So you know if it's not there, you know. And what does that mean? It's going to do what?
Go through the origin.
It's going to go through the origin. Exactly. What kind of a line is this going to be? Positive or negative?
Positive.
It'll be a positive because our slope is positive. Alrighty, over here, what is my slope?
What?
It's undefined.
Oh, it's undefined.
There's no slope.
Oh, it's no
There's
slope.
no slope.
The slope is 0?
Yeah.
Who says undefined? Who says 0? Interesting. Let's plot this one. We know what the y-intercept is. It's what? 8. Do we know if the line's going to be positive or negative? We don't know yet, right? Because it's going to have to be either vertical or horizontal. All right, so here we go. Do I put this 8 here or here?
There's one. First one.
Where do I put this?
Y.
On the y-axis. It's the y. So on the y, not the x. On the y is the 8. And is this a dotted line or a full line?
Dotted.
Okay. So we've got our dotted line. What kind of a line is that? Vertical or horizontal?
Horizontal.
Horizontal? All right. Now we can define it. Is it an undefined slope or a 0 slope?
0.
It has a 0 slope. Because remember, it's the vertical is that crazy undefined. If that skier were to ski off you, who knows where Mr. Skier would land on here, right? Crazy undefined slope is if it's vertical. This has a 0 slope. That's a boring ski slope. You'd go nowhere. Now we might as well go over here and graph this one. Where do I start for that one?
Origin.
On the origin, because it's 0. And then I go 1 and 1. Is that a solid or dotted? Yep, a solid. So we'll go here. Now we have to use a test point. What test point do we want? We can't use 0, 0. It's on the line. If it works, we don't know whether to shade this half down here or this half in here. Do you want to try something in between here or over here?
-1, -1.
Would you want to try anything above this line? Would you want to try anything where it says y is less than 8? Is less than 8 going to be up here anywhere?
No.
So you're not going to want anything up here. So you want to try something here? Okay, what do you want to try?
-1.
You tell me. Do you want to stay in the positives or do you want to go a -1, +1, or what do you want to do?
-1 positive.
I'm hearing -1, +1?
Yeah.
Okay, -1, +1 for our x and our y. Now let's prove if they work or not. What is my y?
1.
1. Is that greater than or equal to 1 times x, which is a -1?
It is.
It is. That one works. Let's go check over here. Y, which is 1, is that less than 8?
Yes.
Beautiful. So what do we do?
Shade in the triangle.
We shade it in because it worked in both inequalities. Questions on this one? We're good to go?